I'd just like to let everybody know before we start the podcast, there may be the odd swear word during Fighting on the Inside. Also, some of the subjects that we cover, especially those surrounding mental health, some people may be affected by these conversations. If you are, then you can find information and help in the show notes. But please, other than that, enjoy the show. So, another massive shout out to our big sponsor, Mangata. Any companies or small businesses, large businesses out there looking for payroll, look no further. With 20 years of UK and global payroll experience, you'll be in incredibly good hands. They've got very competitive margins and very, very easy to set up for agencies and candidates. And once a candidate has been referred, they will be contacted within 30 minutes. You really can't ask for much more. So you know what to do. Go down to the description, click on their website to check them out. It's mangatapayuk.com. And thank you so much to Mangata for sponsoring this podcast. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Fighting on the Inside. As always, I need to say a massive thank you to our sponsors, Mangata, Real Power of One and Wow Hydrate. Without these guys, we couldn't be doing what we're doing. And as you know, this podcast is all in aid of anti-knife crime charity, Gloves Up, Knives Down. So, today we have none other than Big FRAZE. That's my MC.
Effort.
It's all right, it's not bad.
And the heating's still not working.
Yeah, the heating is still not working. Big FRAZE, Olympian, now turned pro, bronze medal in the Olympics. Was it?
Bronze.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. You know, I'm at that stage in my career now where it's sort of all systems going. We're getting ready to let loose almost. I think I've had the first year bedding in. I've been all around the country with Johnny and the team at Sky and Boxer, and it's been enjoyable, but different to what I was used to. You know what I mean? It's a different world that I'm in now, but I'm really happy, healthy, family's happy, healthy, so I'm all good.
You were kind of head of the Olympic amateur squad for quite a while. It's like you're a pro forever. How many Olympics did you do? 3?
3 Olympics I was involved in a cycle for, yeah.
And so how did it feel once you'd made the leap to the big boys club?
Do you know what the thing is, Johnny?
I think
the big boys club. I'll be dead honest. I miss it. And you know what?
Miss the amateurs?
Yeah, badly. My head coach and mentor for all them years was the head of GB Boxing, Rob McCracken, performance director. And he used to bang on to me and the lads. You know, like my era was Joe Cordina, Anthony Fowler, Kez Ashfaq, all them people coming through. Then obviously AJ, Tasha Jonas, all them people before. So he always used to say to us, I remember it clear as day, this is the best time of your life. You're having the best time of your life now. And I never understand it because I was skint. I didn't have a pot to piss in. Yeah. And it's only now, it just made me realise that your funds in your bank on everything. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I'm really appreciative of what I've got and the life that I live. But, going all around the world with your best friends, laughing every day, the togetherness is something that I miss.
And you had a responsibility because you were like you like the daddy of the group.
Yeah, that's it.
They all came to you. You don't see them all come and go. That's a big responsibility.
Yeah, I think it's just something that's like a bit natural, in me. No matter what gym I go to, no matter who I'm with, I always try and encourage everyone else a little bit more than probably when I should concentrate on myself a little bit more. I'm always an encourager, and I think that comes from, I'll always be alright. I'm a survivor. You know me, I get through anything. But I like to see other people, just do alright.
Yeah, it's funny because most coaches, when they're in a gym, they've not just got to do it, and Rob probably did it with you a lot. You probably did it with the squad, whereas they deal with you, your issues, your family's issues. They've got a joke. So when you come in, Rob would have to deal with you, any issues that's going on in your household or personally, and all the other fighters as well. And to suppose you in that position as well, being like the main man in the Olympic squad, you're traveling with your mates, but you're going to have the ups and downs and try and try and settle people as well.
That's it, because a lot of the time, like you see, like when I talk about Rob McCracken, a lot of the time, the advice I was getting of him was nothing to do with boxing. You know, life experience. You know, this is why I always listen to my elders, you know, because even you, Johnny, when I speak to you now, you know, like another mentor of mine, you've been places that I've never been. So I don't like going into places blind. I like people that have been there and walked that path before me. But on that squad, I was the listener. I was the guy that spoke to the coaches a lot. I was the one that, in the end, I'd been all around the world 3 or 4 times. So I had them experiences, and I was able to, you know, just calm someone down or just relax someone. You know, we're going to the Olympic Games. People are worried. There's a lot of pressure on people. I'm trying to tell people, look, forget everyone. You're doing this for you. This is your legacy. This is, you know, you've worked hard to get here. And it's just something that, like I say, naturally came to me, but something I really enjoy doing. I enjoy making other people feel good, feel confident. It's just the person I am.
Rob must have loved then having you there. You probably took a lot of that workload off of him. Because I mean, like you said, it's not just being a boxing coach; it's being a mentor, especially to the young lads coming through in the amateurs, because you get all sorts of different ages. But that's when kids are developing, teens are developing, young adults are still developing, and they've got all their struggles outside of the ring or the gym. And that would fall on Rob. So I guess having you there, you probably sort of assumed the role as well to help out these lads and
definitely. Johnny will know himself. Johnny had the best mentor in boxing, Brendan Ingley. You know, so you know yourself. It's not all about how hard you're training, how much you're throwing a jab. How's your mum? How's your auntie? How's your uncle that was ill? You know, them things go a long way. You know, when they come from people who you think are in a higher position, and they talk to you about, like, obviously I become a father 2016, and he started speaking to me about having kids and how, you know, how to treat your kids and how to give them advice and lead them down the right way. And this is stuff that also comes from my dad as well. But you got to remember, for 10 years, week in, week out, I used to see them coaches at GB
away
Boxing
from home,
more than my family. So, and I speak to these guys every day. You know, if they see you down and they see you up, and they learn your personality. And you know, the really good managers and trainers are always good man managers. And I'd say all the coaches at GB, that's one thing they're really good at. You know, man management. Like they know how to pick people up. They know how to talk about you from a human point of view rather than a boxing point of view.
Well, I guess that's another thing that people. Boxers will definitely say the sport's more mental than it is physical, but I think people don't understand from the outside looking in how much this is a game of the mind over a game of the body. So I guess having a good coach that not only teaches you how to throw a jab, cross, left hook, all of this sort of stuff, teaching you to be the power of your own, be in control of your own mind, and what comes with that is being in control of your own life outside of the ring as well, isn't it? Because if you've got struggles and you're being helped with those, and you're coming into the you've got the tools to deal with those, then when you're in the gym, you're focused on the sport, and this is one fucking sport you need to be focused, because you're gonna get punched in the face eventually. You know what I mean? So yeah, I find that interesting with this. There's always that common theme that it's so much more to boxing training than just physical training, and if anything, how much of this would you say is mentality, and how much would you say is physicality in boxing?
It's always a difficult one, and this is probably against the grain. A lot of people say to me that you know, I've heard 90% mental, 10% physical, and I've heard all different.
It's a bit of a stretch.
A bit of a stretch. I've heard everything, but it depends on the individual. For me, you know, I need to be as sound as body as I am in mind. Do you know what I mean? I need to be focused. And the good thing about boxing for me, and probably for a lot of fighters out there, you know, the people you've interviewed on this podcast, they'll probably tell you the same. You know, the gym, it's my safe haven. It's, you know what? Common. You know, once I go through the doors, I could have been arguing with the missus. The kids could have had a bad night. You know, family issues, money issues before in the past. It's been in bits of trouble with the law and this and that. When I go in the gym for an hour and a half, 2 hours, I ain't bothered. All I want to do is have a little tear up in a spar.
And that's what people that used to fight miss the most. Because I walk in the gym now, I smell it, I think,
you miss it.
It's your happiest place, because you think you just feel safe. It's your second home. But when or why did you start fighting?
So I started fighting because I've told over the years, I've told 50 different stories of this, by the way, but the proper reason is that I was a little fatty and I wanted to lose some weight. You know, I was going from.
How old was you?
I was 11,
Oh.
so I was going up to the big school. I wanted to lose a little bit of weight, and I wanted to toughen up. I was a kid. You know, I'm chalk and cheese now. I was a kid that cried a lot. You know, like if I'm being shouted at for being, you know, at school being shouted at or being punched in the playground. I was a crier. Whereas my brother, it was his birthday today. Happy birthday, Dane. My brother was skinny as a rake, but tough nut.
Yeah.
And he was up at the other school, and I can just remember him coming home all the time, ripped t-shirt, scuffle on his face, and my mum was saying, "You've been fighting again." And I can remember it was almost like, "Oh, don't worry, it's all right, Mum, it's all right. Next year, Frazer will be there. Frazer will be there with me. We'll be signed." I'm sat there thinking, I'm thinking, "Man, you're looking at the wrong person, mate, ain't me." And you know, my dad did a little bit back in the day, and then I can remember we watched Mike Tyson a little bit. You know, we stayed up late at night a few times to watch Mike Tyson. So it was like, yeah. And I tried every other sport as well, but I was just crap. Like, you know, I was always that guy that got the trophy for, you know,
participation.
Participation and team player sort of thing. So after football, rugby, basketball, I thought, you know what, let's go and try it. And I know it's cliche to say, but from the moment I went into this little unit horrible gym, it was the first time in my whole life at 11 years old I felt like I fit in somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honest to God, I felt like, nah, this is where I want to be. Not 2 nights a week. I want to be here every night. I love it.
Right, guys, another massive shout out to one of our sponsors. Now, I know if you're a boxing fan, you have definitely seen Wow Hydrate knocking around. These guys do an incredible range of health drinks to prop up your sporting ventures. You have the electrolyte mix in multiple different flavours to help with rehydration, and also your protein mix, which contains collagen, which will help for recovery. Now, listen, if the likes of Tyson Fury is drinking these things, then it must be a pretty good drink. But don't take it from Tyson, take it from me. Go down into the description, click wowhydrate.com and check them out and buy some for yourself. Keep going with that training with Wow Hydrate, and thanks so much to Wow Hydrate for sponsoring this podcast. I bet it's just probably really hard to pinpoint, because we get that so much that, and when you say cliche, I don't think it's cliche when it's just a common thing. There's obviously something in it. People say they fell in love with that boxing that first time. What about that gym, or what about what you did in that gym, or what you were asked to do, did you love so much? Do you know? Was it the hard work? Was it that you realised you were good at something, or was it, you know, was it the fear or the challenge? Like, do you know? Could you pinpoint?
Yeah, I can tell you what it was. It was the people.
Yeah,
it was the people. It was the O'Tools, the two Irish brothers, 13 and 14-year-old, big Irish clovers on their back, tattooed at 14. I'm thinking, oh my God! It was the Smiths, the Varies, the Travellers that were there, and they were training. They were 13, 14. Their 4 or 5-year-old brothers were hitting the bag, and the dad was shouting at them if they were messing about. It was the big guy Reese that I can remember walking in, and there was a big hard bag. No one had hit this bag, and he'd smashed the life out of it. And as he hit it, the dust would shake everywhere. It was the Carl Groombridges, the Tom Shaws, like I said, Connor Upton. These people, some of these people have passed away. Mark Lee, Neville Brand, people from where I live, Richard Joyce, my coach. They just, you know what, like the little fat kid from school who, not bullied, but probably a bit terrored here and there. When I went in there, I was just a person. They didn't look at me no different.
You couldn't even make a fictional series about little stories you could tell.
Yeah, people won't believe
in the
me.
gym. They wouldn't, but they think it's never. It's just not. It's just going to happen. But that's character building. That's your safe haven. It's a different stability from being at home with your family, your little family. That's you as an individual owning who you are. As you as an individual actually finding your own character, and that was you probably learned more there than you did at school.
I'd say definitely on life, and that's why I always give credit all the time. My first my first coach, my amateur coach, Richard Joyce, because these guys, they're volunteers as well. Remember that they're volunteers. They do this because they've got a love, and they've probably seen what it's done for them, and they know they can do that to other young men and young women. Like, he's still my teacher now. He's still the person. When I come back from the Olympics, when I got that medal, the first person I went and rang before my mum and my dad was Richard Joyce.
Nice.
When I signed the pro contract in London, I come and signed it at the Sky Studios. I got in the Uber after, excited. The person I want to ring, Richard Joyce, because remember all the things that, you know, blood makes you related. No, this guy will go to the end of the earth for me, and he doesn't have to.
It was a selfless act.
He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
I think this is something I only learned recently. Most amateur clubs are run as charities, right? That's the right thing. Everyone's a volunteer. Actually, just on that note, I've just started sitting on the board of a amateur gym called Long's ABC as president for that exact reason, just to get involved in it. But once I'd heard about it and I hear you saying that, it is a reality. You see these coaches in these amateur gyms and these life coaches, what we probably could call them more accurately as well, not just boxing coaches, giving all of that time and effort for little to nothing in return. I guess they'll get loads in return. That phone call he received from you, I bet those are the moments where you turn around as Richard Joyce, you said.
Yeah, Joyce, yeah.
I bet that phone call meant more to him than it did to you, I reckon. Do you think?
Possibly, and I don't do it for that reason. And
no, of course
I don't
not.
want to go on, but on my pro debut in Manchester, remember I got the best slot ever. It was Callan Amir Khan.
Yeah.
I was like, I think
Wicked show.
I was not I don't think I was co-main. I was the one before. So by that time, everyone's sat. Everyone knows if it goes quick, Callan Khan will come in soon. Everyone's there. I'm talking the stadium. It's packed, and I've the music's come on. I'm walking down. You know, you're almost walking in slow motion. And as I'm walking, the tickets I had, I see this man, Joyce, and from that second there, you know, the fulfillment that I felt in my heart, you know, to know that the guy that gave me a pair of old gloves and taught me to throw a jab and step with a jab, and he always told me, you're gonna do well, you're gonna do well. And I used to think, no man, you're off your head. To see him, he was there with his son, who's now a grown man. And when I first went in the gym, he was a little kid. Oh, honestly, God, it's one of them moments that will live with me forever.
Surreal.
Proper.
Yeah.
Tell us about your friendship circle outside of school, outside of the gym.
Yeah, I mean, like, I got a brother and sister. We're all a close family. Do you know what I mean? A really good family. But then with friends, I was always popular, you know, because where I'm from is a small town. I was popular. There's different areas, different schools, and I knew people at every school. You know, most people just mess with the people from their school. Yeah. I was the 13, 14-year-old that I went 10 miles, you know, to on a Friday night to chill with these guys and them guys. I didn't have many enemies. I had a lot of friends. Well, you think they're friends when you're young, but the same two now. My same two best friends now are them same two people that rolled with me.
That's good.
From day one. And they're at the shows now, Mikey and Josh. Every show I'm at now, that I always said, you know, like, I said, yo, if I'm ever going pro, I don't want no entourage, but I need you two with me.
You know what's the sweetest thing about that? And you know, when if you're succeeding, you're doing stuff, and you travel places, and if you're by yourself, and it's somewhere flash, or you see some celeb, you're like, shit, you're trying to be cool, but you want to share that experience with somebody like your boys, like that get you, that you grow up with. And it's so nice to actually just bring them along. Say, boys, come on. And like, you're trying to be cool, like, all right, yeah, go over there.
It's difficult, you know. Obviously, I've been with my missus Danny, you know, for like 3-4 years now. And I think she got a bit surprised, you know, when I said, like, oh, I've come back for the Olympics, I'm going to the Olympic homecoming party. She said, oh yeah, when we're going, I was like, babe, I'm going with Josh and Mike. She's like, what? Do you know what I mean? But I think it just and not obviously I love her to come with me, but you know these guys, you know, at 11, you know, when I started the gym, obviously they was in the gym too, and then they were.
Did you only have two extra tickets or something?
No. We dreamed of these moments. You know what I me.
How do you sell out to her? I understand that, but that's like...
No, she comes to the important stuff. Yeah. I'm saying, I'm getting back in good books. But do you know what I mean? Like, there is something mental about, you know, sharing the experience with them two, and these two guys, they're not brash. They don't want no limelight, nothing like that. And they're the kind of people that, oh my, you know, I need some water for the changing rooms. They go and get it. You know, they just want to see me do well. Do you know what I mean?
We went to a do once, and I said to the boys, listen, be cool. Don't be asking for autographs. Just keep your head. Just be cool. Have a good time, but don't be bugging people. Yeah. Got it. So I got a friend called Tony, mad on football. He used to play for Leicester, but he's been out for years now. So he went to a place, and Sir Alex Ferguson was there, and so he was talking away, and you could see Tony itching. And he went, yo, you know who that is? I went, yeah, it's my new manager. Yo, all right. I said, Tony, please don't. Yeah, all right, no problem. I'm talking to someone next to me. Tony's got his camera out. Next to him, I thought, you dick. But I love the fact that we can all share that night. I get that. Your woman will hate you, but I get that when you've got a chance to share that's something that everybody thinks it's acceptable, but we probably get impressed.
Especially if you, like you said, these are your boys back. They came, they were there from the beginning. So I'm sure, all jokes aside, I'm sure your missus actually understood.
Yeah, I'm joking. You know, she's serious. But like I say, you know, and you know yourself, Johnny. You know, on these boxing shows, as a professional, you meet people all the time. You're shaking hands all the time.
Yeah.
And to be fair, now I know most of the people, but if I'm going when I'm warming up, and I'm doing things. You know, to have them two familiar faces that I trust with my life.
Proper
comfort. And they will tell me any sort of fuckeries. You know, they don't mind upsetting me. You know, that week there, I'm up too late. I'm on the phone too much. Then they're not going to hold back. And a lot of people do because they think you got some status and you're something. These two just keep it real with me. Do you know what I mean? I've walked. They've come out to see me before. Oh, we're going to the pub, lads. What not? Play pool, watch football. One of them see me order a pint. He said, "What the fuck you doing?"
Really?
And you know what I said, yo.
That's a real one. That's a real one. Got your best interest.
This is why I love him. Do you know what I mean?
I can remember Adam Azim box, and after, I think it was his pro debut, and everybody was going mad. We all went back to the hotel afterwards, and all these mates are jumping them out, going crazy. And I said, boys, it's up to you lot to keep him on the straight and narrow. I said, 100%. Because if he, excuse my French, fucks up, I'm blaming you lot, because you lot are going on now is a reflection on him. Because all they're going to say is they'll say Adam's boys. They're not going to say your name.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that, you're always judged by the company you keep. And they'll only call your name. They'll not call your mates' names. And so you've got to surround yourself with the right people. What about social? I know you said you two boys are the ones you grow up with, but I suppose you've seen some guys that have risen, that have fallen from when you were young, that look to you when you start a boxing and thought, he's done all right, him.
Yeah, because remember, I was never. I'll probably go to say now I'm the most successful person to ever come out of my boxing club, and that's, you know, Neville Brown was a great fighter as well. Do you know what I mean? I say me and him were probably going on to be the most successful, and he was the most talented.
Yeah. Oh, Stan used to come to our gym as well.
He was the most talented. I never was, and there was 10. I can name 10 fighters in that gym that was a lot more talented than me, a lot better than me, faster, do more press.
So why do you think you and Neville came out on top if that was the case?
I was just persistent. I won't be denied. I've not got it in me to quit on things.
That is a talent.
I don't quit on things. You know, like point. I needed to toughen up. It took me years to get tough. And now I'm tough, like you won't believe, like, and it's a mentality thing. But yeah, there's all the lads, and you know, I'm not gonna throw dirt on no one, but I can remember certain people, they were winning titles left, right, and centre
with ease.
They were doing this left, right, and centre, and I'd just do anything, you know, to have a bout. I'd love to just have a bout. I think I had my first bout till I was 14. And I seen these guys winning everything. I used to go in the minibus down to Liverpool and watch them in championship finals and win schoolboy titles. They've got the golden gloves and the England vest, and I thought, oh man, I'd love that to be me. And then it gets to, I'll tell you what it is. It's that age, you know, the pivotal age, 16 to 21. You see a lot of good talent. They've got trophy rooms and trophy rooms of medals from schoolboys and this and that. And then I always say they're fantastic achievements and you can never take them away from anyone, but let's see how you are when you're fighting as a man, as a senior man. Let's see. Then you really find out who you are.
Yeah, because you get some kids that are men in child's
kids,
body,
exactly,
but when they've got to meet people of their own stature, that's when it comes out.
Exactly.
Can I ask, Frazer? You said up until 11, you were what you'd call, I guess,
chubby.
A bit of a chubby, but you also said a bit of a crybaby.
My nan says cuddly.
Did he?
Yeah.
But you said you cried a lot. You obviously weren't the most confident, and like you say now, your mentality is completely different, and you're tough. As an 11-year-old back then, did you have an idea of what tough was? What did you think tough was to that kid that wasn't so confident? What did he think tough was?
I thought it'd just be able to back yourself up, to be able to punch someone and bust them up. If they mess with you or give you the wrong word, to be able to just bang, fat someone's lip. I thought that was tough, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. In fact, I say that I'm tough now. In the level of the degrees of people in the world, different people, I'm probably not. But for me, what I have to be, I can do my job, knowing that I can get through things. And I'd say that's because in my life I'd been through adversity. And I always throw it back to, and I'll repeat this, I'll go back to this, the GB boxing, all them different countries. I got on there when I was 17 on that program, and I left when I was 30. When I was 17, I'd never been on a plane. By the time I've left that, I flew all around the world, hundreds and hundreds of times, boxed hard, boxed bigger people, stronger people, been beat up, been stopped, been put on my arse. And I take a lesson from every single place I've been, every opportunity I've had. I take things and I just take all the experience from it. So
most people have never experienced that, and it's actually a good way to prepare yourself for
what we're in now.
For where you are now, and for life itself. Because I'm sure traveling all over the world, you've seen how certain people live, and you're thinking, "Wow, these people ain't got nothing." Then you appreciate home. You appreciate what you've got here.
I think we all do it, now and then, John. We have to sort of pinch ourselves and say, you know what, we're lucky. We're luckier than, sometimes I can be an person. I can moan about nothing. Do you know what I mean? I've got no problems. I've got food in my belly. I've got clothes on my back, heating in the house. The kids are fed. The kids looked after. I'm safe. But sometimes, I think human nature, especially British nature, we like to complain about the grass being green. Do you know what I mean? So, like I say, tough. I'm not saying I'm the big hard nut in the tough case, but I'm tough enough to deal with what I'm dealing with this precise moment, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows like people think. Like this professional boxing. I keep telling all these kids, I keep getting 18-year-old kids, not 16, 17-year-old kids. We want to turn professional. I say, listen, just slow your roll. Because it is not what it says.
You're on your own. You're your own business. Whereas in the amateurs, everything's done for you. Once you turn pro, you're on your own. You've got your coach. You've got your responsibility with, if you're lucky enough to have a promoter that's backing you. If you're lucky enough, you're on your own. It's then you've got to, whatever you do, what decisions you make falls on you.
100%. Like I say, for all that great things that the GB squad did for me, at the same time, it wiped my arse for 13 years. Yeah. When I became a man, the day I left the Olympics, the day I had to do stuff for myself, there's people not on the end of the phone now. Them people aren't there that are going to book the hotels, book the flight. Embarrassing. I wanted to book a holiday in the summer for family. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. You know why? Because, what my flight, what my job was? Turn up at the airport with my passport. That was my job. Yeah. And like I say, I'm starting to learn. I'm learning now. I'm learning all the time now. Tax. What the fuck?
Something they need to teach in school, really.
What the fuck is this?
You took some of my money.
What the fuck is this? What is this like? If people don't know, as an amateur, you're lottery funded, so you don't pay no tax on the money. So I was funded for all them years. No tax, nothing like that. VAT.
Hey, mate, the devil.
So then I've turned professional and I'm loving it. And then obviously I've got the management team, 258 management. Shout out to them. They said, right, we're going to send you your breakdown. Whatever, yeah, go on. Don't worry, man. I've just boxed in Manchester on the Mircon show. I'm nice. We're going on holiday. We're going shopping. The breakdown. What? What do you mean? That's not the number. That's not the number that we were talking about. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I've had to grow up over the last 12 months, and it's been a bit of a journey, and we've still got a bit to go, but I'm learning all the time.
I hear you saying, again, what you say about you being tough now, the difference between 11-year-old you and you now. It sounds to me like you've been tough-minded now, aren't you? You're like sort of bulletproof up here from all your experiences. You also said you went through adversity. Can you explain some of the adversity you went through from childhood up until now?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go to ones that people already know about, and people grill me daily because they call me an old man, and I stuck around the Olympic journey too long. So the adversity I faced there was wanting to go to 2012 and box in London at the Olympics, and then a certain Anthony Joshua comes along, steals the show, and rightly so, and smashed it. So I say to myself, you know what? We take that on the chin. He's a phenomenon. We'd box as well, and he'd beat me. So hands up, he's the better man has to go. Well, we've got 4 years, and then I get to the ABA final and boxing some Joe Joyce guy. Oh, and you know what? Like I've seen him in other fights, and I'm thinking, yo, this guy's slow, robotic. And he's honest to God, he smashed me up. He was constant. I've never seen nothing like it. He wouldn't leave me alone, and I was used to hitting people and people bowling over. This man was a strong beast. Now he's on the squad. Now we're competing to go to the 2016 Olympics. The right man went. Joe Joyce was he was incredible at that Olympics. He was incredible in the build-up. So but that was a real hard one. Now I've got to really, really look at myself in the mirror. What do I want to do? I've watched him qualify, which means I watched him qualify. So you go to a qualifier, he's qualified, which means my chances are now over. I'm sat in my dad's shed at the bottom of the garden. He's got his little man cave. I'm sat there with a bottle of his whiskey, thinking, I'm in Phil Mitchell mode here. Let's get it done. Do you know what I mean? Phone calls with the right people. Let's go again. Let's chuck myself at it. Then COVID came and messed everything up. So can I keep waiting? Can I keep waiting? Is it ever gonna happen? I'm nearly 30. I want the Olympics that bad. But anyway, I waited it out. It was worth the wait. So there's just that's 10 years near enough of waiting for my opportunity. And then during that period, injuries. As you know, as an athlete, injuries are terrible. They're really hard things. And it was at the European Championships in Ukraine, and like an absolute, it can only happen to me like idiots. The lads were all warming up. It's like, I think the championships were started, but I was boxing like 2 days time. We're warming up, and there's a football in this boxing gym. You know where it's going. Only something bad can happen here. There's a football, so we're kicking this football about, warming up, all wrapped up, ready to do the bag session, a little bit of sharp stuff, a little bit of pads. Bang! I slipped, and I'm not kidding you. The worst pain has hit me like never before. I'm shocked. My face. I'm laying on the floor for 2 hours, whatever it is, waiting for some sort of God. I've basically deattached my hamstring.
Yeah.
I deattached the hamstring, but them championships there, and they're a qualifier for the World Championships, which is the big one. As a boxer, Olympics and World Championships, they're pinnacle. Do you know what I mean? And it's the first time in a long time. Joe Joyce has gone to the Olympics, turned pro. It's 2017. Now it's my time, and this horrific injuries come. The only way I can qualify for the World Championships is to win at least one fight at these Europeans. So, big shout out to Ian Gatt, the physios, Sophie Smith Moore. I said, look, this I ain't got nothing else. I can barely read, can barely write. I've not got nothing else. I'm all in. Give me codeine to strap me up. And I won the fight to qualify, and I thought I couldn't walk, I couldn't move. You can watch the fights on YouTube. I'm bouncing around on one leg, and I'm beating people up. And I said, you know what? I said, I'm not done yet. Anyway, I got to the final, and I lost in the final to the Ukrainian. So that was another bad one. And during that championship, I broke my hand as well. So I was fighting with one hand on one leg. I got. That's just some of the things I got. I got stabbed. I got stabbed in 2016 3 times on an unfortunate event on a night out. You know, these things, they're horrible things that have happened to me, but they're just massive character builders.
How mentally tough was it for you to actually stay positive? So you've told us 3 Olympics where you're thinking, why not me? Because a lot of people watching this, they're going to think, well, why do you just not walk away? Why do you just not do something else? So how mentally tough was that for you to carry on, persevere, to actually be here now at this stage in your life?
The people around me, you know, I have to thank them. Like I say, my family, my coaches, without them patting me on the back, and probably at times, and I won't say lying to me, but they always showed belief in me.
Yeah.
And that does a lot for you. You know, when someone, you know, when you don't even believe in yourself, and someone else does, and you think, I don't know why. And then at the same time, remember, I'm doing the wrong things as well. I'm at that age where I'm living in Sheffield, by the way.
You're babysat. You've been babysat from the age of 17.
Yeah, I'm living in Sheffield, and people started introducing Tuesday nights to me. I started.
Great place to be a student, Sheffield.
I start meeting all the boys from Sheffield.
Yeah.
You know, all the bad boys that got loads of money. They got loads of money to do whatever.
Tables and
they say, look, Tuesday night. Listen, I've got no money. You don't need no money. You come out. It's on us. I have good friends in Sheffield. You know, they looked after me for years. Real good friends. Every Tuesday. Sometimes, and I remember I'm training the next day. I'm on the track at 7 a.m. and I'm getting in a 3-4. So for a few years, I'm doing the wrong thing because my head's just gone. Do you know what I mean? I'm just thinking, this is just a payday. We'll look for something to do. We'll look for something to do afterwards. Yeah. Until I think it started noticing. It started showing in performance. It started showing in my professionalism. And I can always remember this conversation I had with Rob, and he said to me, you know what? He goes, you're chucking it away, man. I said, what do you mean? He said, you've got it.
He noticed.
He said, you got 2 ways of looking at it. He goes, you either want to buy yourself a house and your kids a house and your mum a house, or you want to go back to, he knows Burton. You want to go back. You want to work in one of them factories in Burton. And people will see you in the pub and I say, yo, you could have done this, you could have done that. He says, I've been around and I've seen loads of them people, and you don't want to be one because they're in a bad place now. Yeah. Some of them ready to chuck themselves off a bridge. Yeah. So I think there's a few talks like that, because you hear it one time, it goes out one day, you know. There's a few talks like that with a few, like I say, not just Rob. There's loads of good people that spoke to me. My best friends, you know, they said to me, yo, what are you doing, man? You know, you're posting videos. You're supposed to be training. You're in this club. You're in that club. You're holding bottles. You're messing around, and you're young. You're messing with women and whatnot. This and that. So yeah, it's just a realization. You know, like having good people talk to you, and basically that helped me.
Support system, basically.
Yeah, everyone needs it. Everyone needs it.
Hello everyone. So, for those of you that may have noticed how good myself and Johnny have been looking throughout this podcast, that's because we are donning Real. Now, they produce high performance sportswear inspired by boxers. Boxing is as much mental as it is physical, and Real believe that it's a combination of physical and mental strength. That is where your performance potential lies. Unify body and mind to realize the power of one. Real fights for enhanced mental well-being. So whether you're a seasoned boxer or new to the sport, Real will empower you to test your limits. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram at Real Power of One, and you can find their store and their newsletter over on realpowerofone.com. And take it from me, this genuinely is some of the most comfortable and high-quality sportswear that I have ever worn. So it's realpowerofone.com for sportswear inspired by boxers. And thank you so much to Real for sponsoring this podcast. Now, fast forward to your pro career and your first fight. I know you said that your trainer was there. You've been through a lot. You're mentally tough now. In the ring, do you, as a pro, or have you felt, what do you feel before your fights? You feel nervous? You feel any fear there? What would you...
Yeah, I think I always knew this. You know, the word professional boxing. The one thing you don't realise is people say it's professional boxing. what makes it professional is you being a professional.
Mm.
So you can't be a pro boxer and not be professional. It don't work. So I think, that first fight and doing the camp without the support system was like, no, this is what they mean by a professional boxer. Someone that does it full time, works for himself to do this and do that. But yeah, great experience, man. Loved it. Very blessed, through what I'd done at the Olympics to put myself on a great platform and work with people like, from Sky and Boxer, and to be on that card was unbelievable, man.
I think from turning pro, everybody knew of you on the circuits. The TV people knew of you on the circuit because you actually helped out with the security with the other fights. So when you turned it, I think everybody felt very familiar with you anyway. And so now to jump on this journey with you at this stage, it's a case of watching that. I know, working with the TV, I think if you keep doing it right, you'll end up this side of the camera on a full-time basis, because you've got the experience of dealing with so many different shapes and sizes, and understanding the amateur game, looking at the professional game, and I suppose it's about what you want out of it. It's about how far you want to go in it.
I was just going to say, just to second that, it is funny watching you come out of from amateur into pro straight away. It's very, very rare that you see someone come through and straight away already in talking positions and doing punditry and doing all of that hardship you had through the amateurs and all them knockbacks and stuff is actually made when you've turned pro now. You've come through as like a name and a face, so you've landed on the scene in a way that I haven't seen before. And does that sort of?
And I think that goes with time and age and being a bit smarter than maybe a few of the younger kids are. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's possibly come, but I'm gonna go in rant mode now. I think people are starting to listen. I know what I'm capable of, yeah, and I've been around and I've been in gyms and I've seen fighters and I've sat there and I've watched fighters, and there's a lot that I will beat and I can beat. Now, I don't know if it's been a bit ropey in terms of matchmaking in the beginning, and that's through no one's fault. Exactly. Boxing is the professional side of the game. Remember, the business side is difficult. You know what I mean? Now, I feel like Joe Blogs wants me, because I've been to the Olympics and because I've done this and that. They want me to do this boxing game as a sprint. But I've got no problem admitting I'm not ready to sprint yet. Do you know what I mean? I'm warming up. I'm learning and I'm improving in the gym. I'm getting better. And people say, yeah, but you're 31, you ain't got the time. But 31 today is not as a heavyweight.
I was going to say
31 today as a heavyweight is not 31 20 years ago, without strength and conditioning, without nutritionists, when people would smoke fags in between camp and drink beer. This is a different 31. And, I'd say based on this year, it's a bit of time for reflection now coming to the end of the year. I'm happy with it. I'm not over the moon with it. I don't think part of that is my fault. Like I say, I can only beat what's in front of me. The last fight was a good one for me. It let me know where I'm at and what I need to improve on. I got the 6 rounds. I won every round quite comfortably. And I'd still say I was operating at around probably 70%. And once again, that is somewhere where I need to slap myself on the wrist. 70% is not good enough in this professional game. 100% or nothing. So, like I say, it's learning, but I'm not bothered. The stick that you get is the stick you get. That's one thing you need to learn as a professional. People are going to give you shit. Yep. But guess what? I'm just doing it. I'm doing it my way.
I think the public like the honesty as well. I think you had an opponent.
Definitely become famous for that.
Yeah. I think you had an opponent and you were more upset than everybody else was about it, and you apologised for everybody else for making the job look easy. And so to me, I think that's what people relate to. But also it's learning from past to that stage. You think, I need to think quick on my feet here. I mean, I need to acknowledge where I'm at, acknowledge the truths and the falses, and say to people, look, I'm sorry about that. I don't know where they found him. And so it's becoming a people's champion. Slowly but surely. That's why you'd get so many people wanting to jump on the bandwagon and have you have your back. Say, when you're out again, I want to see you. I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah, but at the same time, Johnny, you have the same amount of people, which once again, I don't give a fuck about you. Yeah. But you have the same amount of people that are saying, example, exclusive right now. Yeah, we've heard talks on the social media this week Kevin Johnson, yeah?
Yeah.
You know Kevin Johnson, he's come up, oh, but I'm going to the UK, I'm fighting Frazer Clarke in January.
He been saying
Yeah, go ahead. Well, it's I've half knew about it, but I always said, you know, I'm starting to have a little bit more of a role in who I fight and who I don't fight.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, look, from a boxing man's point of view, I see the value in boxing Kevin Johnson. But remember, this professional game is not just for the boxing people, it's for people outside. Now, to other people, he's 43 years old. He's not been that active. Even though he boxes or not, he's lost this many fights. But then, from my point of view, he's a little bit older, but he's experienced. He's been in the ring with Klitschko, AJ, Daniel DeBar, and he'll give me rounds, I think, which in the only way to develop, you can't just knock everyone out. Like,
No,
you know,
of course.
AJ came through, bang,
Blasted.
blasting everyone. Guess what? That man was a phenomenon, mate. And I do believe on the early stage of his career, that kind of person will come every blue moon. For me, I'm a little bit different. I'd relish the old dog in front of me, making me use my brain and thinking, how do you break this guy down? How do you beat this guy?
That's where the lessons are learned. Because again, you don't want to suffer the price, the consequences when it really counts.
Matters,
the back end of
exactly.
your career. So I know you mentioned AJ, because he was blasting through everybody and a phenomenon, and he was a PR's dream. And so when he loses, all of a sudden you saw the good and bad side of human nature. And so that's a different side of the training, because he'll have spent time living in the gym, to working on himself physically. Now mentally, he's got so much to deal with from the negativity, from the fans that were slapping him on his back saying, oh my God, you're unbelievable. And it does make a massive difference to most fighters. So you're kind of thinking, I don't care, you know, I'm going to learn my job. You know, I'm going to do it at my pace, and I don't care what you say about him. And you're right, get the rounds in. You know, and learn. You've got to learn in public.
You know what? In 3 years, if I look at myself and think, you know what, I'm not happy with how he's gone, we should have gone a different way, then that's on me. But you know, for now, if it is Kevin Johnson, it's Kevin Johnson. If it's someone else, it's someone else. I love a challenge. I love to learn, and I know development. But I also know, which Joe Public don't know, this is my livelihood. This isn't a game. This isn't a mess about. I got to do it properly. You get one shot at it.
It's hard work as well, because Joe Public think you get paid every week.
Oh man,
You know, you get paid when you box, and then a loss, unless you got a really good deal where you've got 6 fights, you get paid X, Y, Z no matter what. A loss is detrimental.
Stop your bread.
So there's a lot of pressure, because when you fight, remember, you've got a mortgage to pay. Remember, you've got stuff to pay for. And if you lose, all of a sudden you're thinking, Jesus, I'm going to pay the mortgage for the next year. You know, that's unless you're in one of that fortunate 5% that earn enough money in this game to live off.
Do you think, because we talk about AJ being a phenomenon, I know he came through, blasted a lot of people out. He was highly touted. I do believe you've come through, and you're definitely one of the big names to come through from the Olympics with loads behind you. Everyone's load of buzz around you. But I feel like AJ maybe ran with that, whereas you seem to have got to a point where you have the wisdom and you're almost not allowing any of that in at all at your stage. Would you say that's true? It sounds like you're starting to keep yourself very level-headed, and although you have got a load of buzz around you, you're very honest about.
I've got a load of buzz around me, but you know, if I'm honest, I've had a lot of buzz around me for before turning pro. You know, for years, I was the little superstar of my own little town. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always had a bit of expectation on me anyway. But it's something I love doing. Boxing is something I love doing. But you know what people need, it's a job. It's my job. I've got 2 little babies, you know, and a missus to provide for, and I love them. So this is my job, and I don't care what people say. What I care about is performing, improving, paying that mortgage, and putting food in their belly. That's my duty.
I think that probably the difference between you and at this stage and AJ at that stage when he was at is you're very much a people's person. Now I'm not in that circle of trust with AJ, so he might let his guard down. He might be that guy you can talk to, bounce off, whatever. But I think socially, at this stage in your career, you're very good at making everybody feel connected with you when you speak, instead of them just being fanboys. You know, so you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because, and I think I struggle to believe that I've got fans. I struggle. I always say I've got support. I've got a lot of supporters, and that's not me trying to be the humble guy.
Yeah.
No, who the fuck the fan of Frazer Clarke? Do you know what I mean? Like, who is? Like, you know what I mean? I'm fish and chips and a pint of Guinness. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you talking?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The masses, they're fish and chips and a pint of Guinness. So do you think I know someone like him?
Yeah, but so am I. I am. Do you know what I mean? That's not bullshit. That's just the truth.
So, Frazer, next step for you. I know you said you're not in a rush here and there, but we've just got newly crowned British champion Fabio Wardley. We've had him on the pod. We're chatting to him.
You're going to shit stir this, aren't you?
No, I wouldn't. Just like to know. Obviously, I know you're not in a rush, but let's face it. Are you looking to go, the traditional, the good route of English, British up there? Would you relish a fight with Fabio? Like, who you got your eye on the domestic scene? Without me trying to fast forward things too much.
It's a good question.
What do you think?
I was ringside for the fight last week.
Good fight,
and I congratulated Fabio. I brought him and his coach a pint back at the hotel. I said, well done. In my head, I was looking at him thinking, yeah, you keep that fucking belt. keep drink it this time. Here's a shot as well. keep that belt warm for Christmas, mate. No, serious. No. You listen, lovely guy, great fighter. But obviously the competitive nature of the beast is. I seen this man with a British title. I seen a picture of him not long ago. Little baby face with a British title. Do you know what I mean? Up the Winkerbank gym. It's a beautiful thing, I think you're daft to not want it. Do you know what I mean? It's like your national title as a professional. The British title. But remember, once again, I say to people, the way boxing works now, the business of boxing. Will I get the opportunity to box for that title? I'm definitely. My job at the minute is putting myself in a position to fight for that title. Now, if you look at the rankings already, I think I'm in the top 10 in Britain.
I was about to say, from outside looking in, mate, it looks. So everyone else would be like, now.
But obviously, once again, younger me would have said, yeah, I want Fabio next.
Yeah.
I've only ever boxed 6 rounds. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
It's 12 round fight.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So
big difference.
You got to prepare properly, and you got to be real. Now we'll see how we get on in January. But the way I'm feeling in the gym today, yesterday, I'm confident in myself. Of course I'm confident in myself. Fabio confident in himself. I'm confident in myself. But once again, like I say, this isn't like the shit talk. Yeah, I'm going to get in there and smash it. It's a nice guy. He's got something that I want. Now, in this game, the beauty of this game is the way for me to get what I want is to beat someone up. Now, anything else you
long and short of it, really, isn't it?
You do that in another life, you go to jail.
Yeah.
In my profession, that's what you do. So, hopefully I just put myself in a position to be able to challenge the champion, who is Fabio, and in the near future, I think it's a good fight for Britain. I think, and I always go back to that. As a fan, I always say, what would I like to see? I think me and Fabio would be fireworks.
You always need a good dance partner in your division, and fortunately, as a heavyweight, there are good fights for you to have, especially now you're in that top 10. Domestically alone, never mind on the European circuit. But I suppose getting your stripes, learning your trade, getting the rounds underneath your belt until that opportunity comes is the perfect thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit old school in the sense that I always speak about earning my stripes. I see some of these guys now, top amateurs, and they get to jump to the world title. I'm not a fan of it. I don't believe in it. I believe in tradition, you know what I mean? Because once tradition's gone, what do you have in boxing? Once people start diving into mad positions from being amateurs, what do you have?
YouTube boxing.
What does it do for the guy that never won a national title, but he's boxed on 10 small hall shows?
Jamie, right? YouTube boxing.
Yeah,
that's what you get. Yeah,
he's unbeaten. Do you know what I mean? So I believe in tradition, and I'd like to do things the proper way, and that's why I'm happy with the people that I surround myself with. We're not talking. I'm not talking about world titles and this and that. Small long term goal, short term goal. Short term goal, put myself in a position to box and headline a show for the British title.
Well, to be honest, mate, for such a humble bloke, I know you're very realistic about your career, but I think you've got a hell of a lot ahead of you, and I can't wait to watch that.
I've probably got one question left. I'm probably going to make a habit of it to most of our guests, and what does a 31-year-old Big Frazer, what advice does he give a 15-year-old version of himself?
Good question.
Yeah, that's a mint question.
Mint. Don't hear that word a lot. Is that Northern, isn't it?
Northern, mint, mate. Proper mint. Ooh, yeah, I'd say so much to myself, but I think the biggest thing is, and a cliche once again, but you know, no one believed in me. I don't think anyone would. I think people would say that I've overachieved, but there was some arrogance dark in the back of my head, some belief and arrogance that, yeah, I'm gonna prove everyone wrong. I did have a little bit of self-belief, you know. It was like, these lot are sleeping on me. So I'd say definitely believe in yourself and leave alcohol alone. Alcohol's the devil, you know. I think that's the devil, you know. For so many people, drugs and alcohol, I see it ruining so many lives. You know, at the minute, I've seen a lot of young people my age, people younger than me, going down some mad slippery slope, you know, because I don't know if it's boredom or what, but yeah, don't do drugs, stay away from alcohol, and believe in yourself.
I think that's good, and it's nice to have something a bit different here with the drugs and the alcohol, because I mean, let's face it, that can all wrap around to the fact that I think a lot of the issues we realise with people here is lack of direction, lack of something like that, and I think that mostly lack of direction and boredom, like you've said, can lead to those things, can lead to mischief, can lead to everything.
Yeah, ignore me if you see me next Christmas.
It's going to be plastered,
bouncing around in one of the pubs in Burton. You know, where they're calling in one and they're chasing you, but ignore me because it's just celebration now and then.
There you go. Well, Big Fraze, thanks for coming on, mate. I really appreciate it. Love the chat. And for all of you guys out there, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Fighting on the Inside. And we will see you again next week.